Hello, guys. My name is Sam, and I've been watching Matt for the last couple of years, say the last 2 years or 1.5. Um, I started my journey for like 10 years ago, or even more, where I was suspicious that something wasn't right around me. I hadn't the answer. I didn't um, knew that all around me was fake, all the news, everything, the reality. But I had a feeling that something wasn't quite as it should be. Uh, and after a while, I encountered to Eric Dubay and those gatekeepers, Alex Jones, David Icke, and I started my journey. And the shape of the earth was the first thing I started to investigate. And why I think Matt is genuine and why this channel is not chill channel like Ruchi from Boston who scares you to death every day, or Rob Skiba who speaks to God, or Alex Jones and David Icke who make us look like idiots. The difference between Matt and them is that Matt have a table. They don't. And what I mean with that is that they get the agenda and they get a subject to feed. But Matt doesn't. Matt got a table. And when I say a table, you guys who listen to Matt know exactly what I talk about. A table where we put everything on it. Everything. And when we're done, we leave it on the table and continue our life. And when we need to talk about it or when we need to investigate something, we go back to that table. And on that table, we allow everything. I mean, I was a person, if you talked about the Mandela effect, I would laugh at you and I would say, you must be so stupid if you think that a letter will change, or you know what I mean, in a movie title or something. You must be stupid. But since I've listened to Matt, it's not that I really believe in Mandela effect in that that way that it's represented, but something about it is right. When I think about it, I can feel and I can remember stuff that have been changed just overnight, and I have only, I haven't take it so seriously. Just yeah, sure. It was me who didn't remember, or something like that. Brush it away. But since I've listened to Matt, I have put this Mandela effect, even that, on my table, and not investigating it because it's nothing you can investigate. But when you try to reach any sums or any conclusions, then you can have it on the table, the Mandela effect. And the best thing, one other thing that with the table is that you don't take stuff with you to the real world, because uh, if you do, you lose your friends, you lose family members, you lose um, credibility, and they put a tin foil hat on your head. So what we need to do is to have everything on the table and have it there. Okay, regarding my answer to Matt's video about why people doesn't see, do we literally have two different bubbles, two different reality understandings, to or um, are they so into their life that they don't care to see? Uh, Before the answer to that question, I just want to say one thing. Yesterday, Matt had Matt had another video where he said that everything isn't fake. and I couldn't agree more. Every cloud isn't chemtrail. Every shooting isn't fake. First of all, the thing that Matt explains, that out in the world there are uh, many people who are unstable and have guns. That's that's an logic easy to understand. But don't forget, why do they do this stuff? Why do they make those fake shootings or fake whatever they do? Why? Uh, the answer, first of all, we know that if they have any agenda, if they want to take down Arabs, then they give a gun to Arab and he makes some fake stuff, and the people get angry about Arabs, and they give their leaders thumb up for go to war against the Arab country. If they want to take our weapons from us, they put a white guy and call it domestic. Uh, so those reasons, yes, of course, but they fill us up with a bunch of medications, benzodiazepines like Xanax, Stesolid, Rohypnol, those strong medicines which make for they use it for sleeping pills, or they use it for calm you down, but they really shift your reality in a crazy way. And I have been taking them myself. I live in Sweden. If you live in Sweden, probably you have visit a shrink 4 or 5 times, and you are on some kind of medication. That's Sweden. And the kind of medication I talk about is pharma, psychopharma, kind of Prozac. Uh, but they fill up people with those medications in one hand. In other hand, they fill them up with what I just mentioned, Prozac-like medicines. There are two different families. The first one is benzodiazepines, which are a very strong. As soon as you put it in your mouth, you feel that you are. I mean, you feel very good. You feel motivated to live, and if but very soon you need to higher the dose. Your tolerance goes up and up, and you need to take more and more. And now, not only that you need to take more, but they doesn't work as well. Instead, they make you more sad. But worst of all is that they are so strong that they really shift your reality. They make you like, how can I explain it as best? Like you're high. That's the best way. Vicodin is one of those kind of, but that's more that's heroin like oxycodone or something named also. So there are several kind of pharma families. The more addictive is the morphine medication. Then you get all the new HDAD medications. That's another family, also a reality shifting strong medication. Um, so there are different families, but the two worst one are the benzodiazepines, which shift your reality and make you so addicted. So if you stop, your muscle will crumble, and you will get um, cramps. So you need professional help to stop them, to quit. You cannot just take a cold turkey. So that's that kind of medication. Then you have another one, the Prozac like, which make your also make your reality shift on a way, but very very slowly. The first 2 3 weeks when you start with that kind of medication, Prozac like, you feel worse and worse and worse and worse, and most of the shootings happening out there, fake or no fake, when they present them for us in news, uh, they mention it that they've been on that kind of medication, and during during the time during the first 2 3 weeks when you feel worse, and suicide, and so many suicide reports about those medications, and they are nothing more than fluorine. So, and they keep giving them to us, and those people, when they eat those kind of medications, and the system, the mass media, they know that. I mean, those, when they do fake shootings, when they do fake stuff on news, they do it not only for their agenda, like taking the guns from people, but they also doing it to make us feel bad, to make us scared. But one main reason why they do the fake stuff, it's to make our young people imitate it, do it again, do it in real. So they make 2 3 fakes, and people see it on TV, probably on that crazy medication, uh, unstable psychological, maybe criminal background, maybe getting hit, bullied in school, maybe getting hit by his parents at home, and all those things combined. And on TV, he see that, wow, when a guy is in that situation, he can solve his problem with violence. He can solve his problem with shootings. So what he do on that kind of medication, when he don't have the reality, in his the real reality, he will do stuff. They will do stuff like that. So yes, of course, some of those events are real. Then we have stuff that they're not real. Of course, that's true. But don't forget that one of the biggest reason why they do these fake events, and not only with shootings, whatever, why they do it, it's because they want us to imitate. They want us to do it again. They want our young people to uh, repeat it. So uh, that's I want to start with, to say that don't forget it. And for that reason, I believe some of them are real and some of them are fake. And I don't want to say, oh, the Hook one is real and the Vegas one is fake. I don't know. I am not in it as well as you guys are, because you are from America. You have another kind of news showing to you. You have local news, and we don't here in Europe. So I don't know which, and I haven't been investigating them, but I know that three quarters, 75% are fake, 15% are not fake, and those not fake is the system showing that, look, I won, me winning. When non-fake events like this happens, it's only one more point to the system. That's it. So absolutely yes, I agree with Matt in several points. Even here that of course, a couple of those events we see are real. Of course, every cloud isn't chemtrail. And so, okay, this is what I wanted to add before I continue answering Matt's question. They Live. The movie They Live. Um, I think everybody have seen it, especially in this community, where Piper, the old pro wrestler guy, he put some glasses on, and when he put those sunglasses on, he can see all strange things in society. He can see subliminal messages and so on. Uh, in that scene, there is one. In that film, there is one scene who nobody pay so much attention to, and it's the fighting scene where Piper wants to force his friend, the black guy, to put on the glasses, and he won't. And he tries, he tries, he tries, he tries. Finally, they end up in a fight, and they literally fighting with each other for 15 minutes. I mean, a movie which is 1 hour and 30 minutes. One fighting scene is 15 minutes. It's crazy, but it's there for a reason. John Carpenter is not stupid. He knew stuff, and this scene give us the answer Matt asks for. Um, the black guy, he knows it's wrong, he sees wrong, but he don't want to engage. He just want to continue his life. He don't. I mean, imagine if now I don't have any kid. I don't think Matt have any kids. I would never bring a kid to this crazy, crazy world. I am 40 plus. I would love to have a kid. I would love to have kids, but this crazy world, I would never give them that satisfaction to bring here my flesh and blood. But if you had a kid, um, you don't want to mix with this kind of stuff. Um, I mean, in some countries out in the world, you have politician and police or security guards or um, kind of intelligence or authorities knocking on your door if you have wrong kind of book at home, if you have wrong kind of thinking, if you say something wrong. China is a big example of that. And so if you have kids, if you have family, you don't want to mix in with those stuff. You get scared. That's one thing. Then when I read the comments, many people talking about that we are embedded in this reality so badly that we don't they don't want to see the reality. But I know that Matt is not satisfied with that question because what Matt see is something, how can I call it, something supernatural, something affecting our reality outside of our understanding. And um, this is something we should put on Matt's table, um, uh, because we would, as it is right now, with the information we got right now, we cannot figure that out. Um, so that's another thing. But the fighting scene on They Live, it's a really nice analogy for that. People don't want to know, um, and we human beings are uh, sometimes very simple beings. Um, the reality they give us, the reality they present to us, human being accept it. So that's another reason. And uh, Matt had a good explanation or analogy about that. If he make the best video in the world, and he put together good pictures and good video clips, and he make the perfect video for waking a person up, a person who are in that reality. Uh, would that person see what Matt has made, produced, or will the movie be something else, literally? Okay, I believe the first thing to question is, will that person even care to watch that movie? Because then it will change the question. So They Live movie, um, I don't think that they don't see it. Uh, I just think they ignore it. Um, they don't want to know it. I think many of people see it. You talk about. I mean, I had a friend. I knew a friend when I was pretty young. I was in my uh, late teenage, and he was shot in his hand. He was shot between his thumb and his finger, and the guy had bandages and I don't know what for a year, and he was at hospital for a week. And when he was released, and after after he was good, he had a big scar. He couldn't move his fingers. He was marked for life. His hand wasn't fully in function, and you got a guy in Texas with a hole in his neck. He got a shot in his neck, and he sit and have a conversation. And the question is, okay, how can people not see it? They don't want to see it. I couldn't see it. I mean, for 5 6 years ago, I knew something was wrong. I knew that the politician was corrupt and fake. I knew that you couldn't. Our vote doesn't count. I knew that the poverty and the starvation in the world are man-made. I knew all of those, and I felt that something was wrong. But if you would present something like that, the Las Vegas, no, Philadelphia guy who Matt talks about with us with a um, bullet wound in his neck. If you present that to me back then, when I wasn't really awake, but still I knew that something was very wrong, I would accept that. I would. I wouldn't say, "Oh, look, how can a guy sit here and have a and being wounded and had a get shot in his head and still sitting here moving his neck?" I wouldn't have those kind of thoughts. And there we get one another part of the answer Matt asks for, that we are teach. They learn us. They teach us in school, uh, mm, the TV, our all our the movie and films we look at, all those, they teach us to uh, criticize right things, and for us wrong, of course. But they teach us what to want, how to criticize, what to eat, how to get. I mean, they even teach us uh, what kind of woman you. They work on us in a certain way. So the answer to the question is several. First of all, is the old answer. Everybody talks about that. The reality, they protect their reality. They love it so much. They love their iPhones so much. They love money so much, so they want to protect their reality. That's one, of course, one answer to the question. But also that the they live analogy, that they see it, they know about it. I mean, how many people uh, don't know that many of the wars, I mean, at least here in Europe, almost everybody knows that the war we see out in the world is either for oil or money or something uh, unethical, something criminal, something bad. They know it, but they still support it. They still pay tax to their government so they can continue kill people. So they know, they see, but they don't want to do anything about it. Also, one other thing, that we who see this, um, we are not just normal, like Matt say, call us for mutants. We are not like the normal folks outside, because I mean, most of us people in this community, in some point in their life, they have been kind of rebellion, um, kind of against norms. So we have that from the beginning, that we are skeptical against stuff, and this grows, that this makes the desire for truth. And that's another answer, that they don't have this desire for truth. They think that they are their body, and they think they are their name. I mean, when I was kid, my mother always told me that uh, go to school, be a good boy, uh, get a good work, a good job, save money for your future, go to university, get a good grades, and everything about all the time to preparing my life in this world, for this world. But I see it differently. Why can't we instead? Why can our parents teach us to prepare for next life? I mean, now I say next life like I know stuff, but we know that we are. I mean, at least in this community, we know that we are not our body. We are not our name. I mean, if I want to go from a city to another city, and I want to use the highway, I need a car. Without car, I can't go on highway. And same with our body. If I want to come down to earth, if I want to have sex and feel good about it, if I want to eat and feel good about it, if I want to taste stuff, if I want to touch stuff, if I want to be scared, if I want to feel emptiness and loneliness, and if I want to feel the opposite, positive stuff, energy, I need a body. I need a body. And when I'm done, I will leave this body. Like when I'm coming, if when I reach my destination, I go out of the car. I am not the car. I only use the car as my vessel, and my body is my vessel on earth. When I'm done, I leave it. I am not my body. I am not my name. And people in reality don't have this. I mean, some of them, religious people, Christians, Jews, Muslims, I don't know, they are not sure. I mean, I've been there myself. I am the biggest NASA fanboy, the biggest Neil deGrasse Tyson fanboy, the biggest science fanboy, the biggest Darwin fanboy. I mean, you name it, I've been there. I've been I mean, number one in those stuff. But I have make a 360. I have run my own companies, and made good amount of money. I have been on leading position in big Swedish companies, telecom companies, and insurance companies. I'm sorry. Uh, but finally, I left everything. I left everything, and I checked out from this crazy reality. And now I live my life like I wanted. I have my two dogs. I travel through Europe, and when I find somewhere I love and I like, I stay there for a couple of months, and then I leave again. Uh, I love this life. I would never change it. I look at my friends in Sweden, in Gothenburg, and everybody which are in my age, they have one, two, or three kids. They are poor. They are working like slaves in Volvo or Ericsson. They if there is any job, if there is no job, they are on welfare. The state takes care of their children. The school brainwash their children. As soon as the children are born, they get 18 different vaccinations. They are unhappy they going and complaining the relationships between them and their women and the mother of the child are always on the edge of breaking. I mean, I would never choose that life. And every day they go up 5 in the morning, and they have 30 minutes to shower and eat something and go to the work and back home 5 6 in the evening, finish, have no energy to do nothing. I mean, never. I would never uh, put myself in those in a situation like that. And I have a friend, one of my best friends. We don't talk to each other anymore because of this matter. And he are he's enforcing this idea into his children and his little brother. Um, I mean, I asked him, why do you force your because he's got a younger brother, and this and the younger brother have a job, and the job is really he work as customer service from Greece. He sits in Athens and answer on phone calls, and his boss are a big asshole. They pay him really bad, and I found another solution for him where he could make money, and he could work from home. And his older brother, who is my best friend, called to his brother and told him, "No, you cannot do that. You have a work. You have promised your boss to be there. It's wrong for you to not continue your work." Blah blah blah. And I couldn't just understand how can he, and my best friend is not about, it's not that he's 100% blind. He see like many of things that we see, and he would agree with 98% of what we say. Okay, but he wouldn't go against it. You know what I mean? He got 3 kids, and uh, he have always been a responsible person. um, and when we were kids, for him it was very important to, I mean, to answer authorities if any big company or authority send him any uh, question or any factor or invoice. He would pay it. He would never lie to authority. He would never uh, uh, go against any rules, any laws. Um, he's that kind of person. Uh, but he could easily, I mean, he could easily fuck a friend. Uh, for 1 year, he were bullying one of our friends from every day from morning to night. Those stuff he don't care about. But anything about the law, anything about authorities, anything about to have good social credibility, social points like China, he do it. This is important for him to have a nice reputation. But fucking another human being, fucking another person, uh, that's like, okay, I can say sorry, I can make it up to you, but if I don't pay my invoice to or my tax, then I will have my name marked, and I cannot take a loan. And if I have my name marked in society, you cannot take a loan, you cannot take a apartment for rent. You cannot even have a credit card or a bank card, ATM card. You can even have that. You cannot even have a simple bank account. Uh, they shut you down totally in Europe if you don't pay your invoice in time. And it can be any kind of invoice. Your electricity, your water, your phone, or you bought something for yourself, uh, whatever, whatever. They send you an invoice. You have 14 days. You don't pay it, you have 7 more days. You don't pay it, it goes to the Swedish authority. They put 50 bucks extra on it, whatever amount it is, and they give you 14 days. And they give you a mark. Now your name are marked. Even if you pay it, you are marked. The mark disappears after 3 years. So if you pay today, after 3 years, you are welcome back to the society. But until then, you can't do nothing. As I told you, cannot take a phone contract, apartment, nothing, nothing, nothing. You cannot move in the society. And now these days, everything has been electrical. You cannot even pay. So if you haven't cash in your pocket, sorry, if you haven't a mobile wallet or a digital shipped credit card, then you cannot buy nothing in Sweden. At least not in the say 40% of all stores don't take cash. And the funniest thing, for 10 years ago, they took away the cash from the banks. Come on, the banks. The banks in Sweden don't have any cash. You can't take out cash, or you can't put in cash. They don't even take your cash if you go with cash into a Swedish bank. And this thing they started with for 10 years ago. And people, and I go back to Matt's answer question, people see this. They are not blind. People see that something is wrong. They know, many of them, like my ex best friend. They know, but they don't care. They think, okay, if I start to question this stuff, what should I do? Should I not go to my work tomorrow? Should I not update my Facebook status tomorrow? Do I need to stop to live? You know, they don't have the second option. So I think it's many stuff making them to not see everything from that they are secure and they want to protect their reality to it's hard. They don't want to accept that they have been fooled. We all are familiar with the quote that says it's easier to deceive a human being than to convince him that he have been deceived. That's another reason why people don't see it. But the biggest reason, I think, it's that it's a combination between they don't want to see it, and that they are brought up to not see it, and if they should see it, not react to it. I mean, there are many shield channels, as I said, like Rob Skiba, Richie from Boston, Jordan Maxwell, Bill Cooper, Alex Jones, David Icke. You know, all of them are shields and gatekeepers, and you should always have your skeptical hat, as Matt says. But they are there, so some of them make us look dumb. Some of them are there to make us mutants, to ask irrelevant questions. You know, for example, the shape of the Earth. It's not that it's irrelevant, the shape of the Earth. Opposite. It's the opposite. It gave us many answers, but it still feed the system. You know, we still chasing it. It's our football. It's our circus. You know, they say, the Rome say, you give them bread and circus. This is our circus. You know, they make our circus. So we need to be, as Matt say, we need to put everything on the table. When we leave, we leave everything there on the table, and we don't force anybody into it. All those stuff have, I mean, a big thanks to Matt for what you've done. I don't listen or watch any other YouTube channels. Only Matt. First of all, I like him. He's a great guy. And when you watch someone a long time and you start to relate to that person, and you see that he have gone the same path that you have done, and of course, especially in this community where you can feel yourself really alone many times. So also that Matt is a genuine person. I don't feel any shield vibes from Matt, which I do from many other. And that's when they get an agenda, flat Earth or FEMA, or they will come and kill you. That's when I get a little bit suspicious. Also, a good advice only because they have a low quality webcam and they shaking in their hands when they filming. It doesn't mean that it's not backed up by any government or in agency. I mean, imagine Jimi Hendrix. Who could believe that he was an agent, huh? Jimi Hendrix, he was like the king of 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 the anti-establishment. He was the king of the hippies, and the hippies was against the war, and the government is not against the war. So how come he was an agent? But imagine the strongest force against the war in Vietnam was a bunch of junkies hanging on Woodstock, taking LSD, smoking weed all day, and letting CIA making experiments on them. So that the Jimi Hendrix was the biggest king, but he was an agent. He was on somebody's payroll. Who could believe that? And today it's the same thing. People like Richie from Boston, or now I have mentioned his name many times, but it's not specifically him. It's people like him, channels who get 300,000-400,000, and you see they are a gang. You know, I mean, you can see that. For example, I followed Richie from Boston for a while, and he started to say in his videos that he will go and visit ODD. You know, ODD TV. There is a channel called that. And and he told me, and he said in his videos, oh, next week I will go to ODD, or next week I will go to ODD. Now it's only 3 days. I will go to him. I will visit him. And after he been there, his channel started to change. He opened up a new channel, so now he had Richie from Boston and Richie from Boston 2. And he do mainstream style. You know, he have shortened his videos to only 8-9 minutes videos, but many every day. He follow a path. So there's pattern. Sorry, he follow a pattern which you can see that even ODD follows. So you understand that they got a manager, or they talk together or anything, because they have a same pattern. Also ODD, I mean, he have so many good argues about flat earth, so many good argues about flat earth, but when he got 5 minute airtime on mainstream media, he can say nothing. He said only, I don't remember his exactly word, but he got 5 minute mainstream media, and he was such a clown. Come on, he couldn't put out 2-3 good argues. Of course he couldn't. He just said 2-3 really stupid stuff, and I sat there just like a big question mark. Come on, what? And I thought, when I saw him, I thought, oh, good. Now now it's in mainstream. I will record it and show it to my friends and family, and now ODD will say 2-3 good stuff, and he just make us look even more stupid. So be careful. Have your skeptical hat on, as Matt say, and yeah, the question to the answer to Matt's question, once again, I think is a combination between they want to protect their reality. Um, they don't have another choice. So even if they would check out from the society like I have done, what would they do? The scarcity of that is another thing. Um, but the strongest force making them live this reality without see the faults is that they have been brought up that way. They've been teach in school. I mean, you go the first 6-7 year of your life, you go to kindergarten, and you sit in front of the TV with Disney movies teaching you what's right or wrong, and the next 10 year after that, you go to public school or um school, your first 9 or 10 years. After that, you have 3 more year, and after that, either you work or you go another 3, 4, 5, or 8 years. I mean, and this year, and in and out from the school only brainwashes us. So the school we go, what my point, what I want to say is, our school are only brainwashing and making us um produce this reality. They force us, they make us to persons who, uh, whatever we do, uh, we built on this society. We built, we help, uh, we produce this crazy world with our attentions, with our thoughts, and how they brought us up, and they live the fighting scene there. I mean, even though if you make a good tape, Matt, the best video in the world, and try to wake people up, first of all, they would never touch it. I mean, look, NASA. They released a movie a couple of years ago about the moon landing, and uh, exactly the time where they should be on the moon and speaking with Nixon in phone, they are on an airplane, filming each other with a color camera, and trying to adjust the camera so you can see the Earth through the round window. Uh, and this is a movie uh, giving you full proof that the moon landing are fake. That the time where they should be on the moon, they are hovering above Earth and trying to fake a picture. But this is NASA themselves sending this out. The government themselves, Hollywood, sending this movie out. How come? How come if they want us to believe that we have been on the moon? How come? And that question is easy to answer. They know that NASA fanboys would never touch that movie. They would never watch it. And if they would, they will laugh at it, and they will find excuses for it. Same way, Matt. If you make the best tape in the world, those people brought up to be slaves would never touch that movie. They would never, first place, look at it in the first place. Less they would believe in what the content is. So it's a very hard question, very hard. Yeah, it's a very hard question to answer. But uh, as I say, it's a combination of different what I believe from different stuff. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your time, and a big great thank you to Matt, of course, for your time, for your video, and the book. I love it. We love it, and just continue do what you're doing. What you do expand many people's minds. Um, there are very few like you, Matt. So all credit to you. And one thing is, which I think is great with you, Matt, is that you have been uh, really on the other side. You have been a petri idiot, and navy and army, and pang, suddenly you see this. So I believe that people like us, who the mutants, uh, we must be of another sort. I mean, how come there is people who can't see even an ant suffering, and there is people who kill puppies just for fun? Um, how can it be that there is people who care so much about something, and people who just give about everything? I mean, the light within us, I think we are different, um, different beings. Just because we have same body and we are human being, everybody, it doesn't mean that the light within us are all the same. We know that, as the Matt says, George Bush creatures, we know that many of them may be soulless or not, but we put it on the table. But what I feel is really what I'm pretty secure on is that the thing within us who make this body alive, it's different within different persons. Um Imagine, like, if you are uh, the mutants, the person who see the reality, the persons who are against war, against this kind of life, against the psychopaths and the pedophiles. I believe that, and especially the rebellion kinds like us, who not only know it, not only feel it, but want to do something about it. Check out from the society, or make videos like Matt do. We have to have something else within us than the people who doesn't care, compared to the people who like to see sufferings, compared to people who yeah, you know what I mean. I believe really that there is a different kind of light within us. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time. And once again, Matt, thank you very much for everything you do. You really expand our thoughts, and you are the only YouTube channel I watch without my hat. Lavette also, of course, you and Lavette. But everyone else, I just watch for amusement and to see the other side. Also, I've stopped to watch mainstream news, but I do it from time to time only for uh, getting update. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Matt. Have a nice day, and so long.